Hello and welcome to the Track Talk Podcast by Kicking for Home. I'm your host, Ben Drury. The Track Talk Podcast is your place to listen to all things running and track. On today's episode, I had the opportunity to talk with the NXN Cross Country National Champion, JoJo Jourdon, who also just broke 4 minutes in the mile indoors at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix. We talked about all things running, whether it was talking about the lead up to his sub-4 race, what comes next, or whether he wears socks with his spikes or not. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to the podcast. How's it going?
Good. How about you, man?
Doing pretty good. Not much. I mean, I guess it's a Monday, so how good could it be?
Yeah.
Just kind of going to start off with the first segment, which is called Behind the Run. So basically, Behind the Run is just like talking about everything except the race. So, I mean, first off, we had a conversation maybe about a month ago after you won NXN, but that wasn't like in a podcast format like this is. So if you had to kind of like sum up yourself in as few, not, I mean, however long you want it to be, but to just anyone that's new to JoJo Jourdon who has heard you with all your great performances and just been like, who is this guy?
Yeah. I'm someone who likes to have fun with the sport. I think something big that you need to have in this sport. Big with teammates. I love my teammates, everyone who's helped me get to the point where I am today. And like outside of the sport, academically, I do like to push myself. I love fishing, something that's been really big that helps relax me and something that I have a lot of fun with. Other than that, there's not much. It takes up most of my time, with running and schoolwork. But that's, like whenever I'm not doing something inside the classroom or running, I'm normally fishing or, sometimes video games with my friends. But yeah.
Wow, I mean that's great. I think it's like kind of funny because running in school, like as a high school athlete, it's like because I do the same thing. I run in school and stuff like that. But I think it's interesting because balancing it all. You got your training and all that stuff. But like kind of on the same page. How do you balance that? Like, what's your day to day routine from like whenever you wake up in the morning, go to school? Like, what's that like?
Yeah, my school starts stupidly early. Yeah, I start at 7:30, so I'm normally up at 6:30. I'm in bed by 9, so I can get good 9 hours of sleep. Something that I am big on. Yeah, go to school. Lunch these days. This year has been like at 10:30, which is outrageous. It's basically breakfast. But yeah, eat something before school. Have lunch around 10:30, 11. Practice at 2:30. It's probably ends around workout days around 5. So I do stay pretty late. Try to get my homework done. After that, and then just relax, roll out, recover as best I can, and then just go to bed and get ready for the next day. That's about my daily routine most of the days of the week.
Like, cause you're from Utah, right? So, I mean, I don't know about you, but now training outside is pretty cold. So, like, what's that like? Cause I don't know if you have like access to like indoor facilities or whatnot. Like, what's that like with your training?
Yeah, this year it has actually not been that cold. I don't know why. I bet it's gonna in a couple of weeks. I bet it's gonna get cold as hell. But so far, I mean, we've only had to go. We have like an indoor track about 30, 40 minutes away. So if there is snow on the track or it's a terrible day, we'll go there. We haven't had to in a while actually, so it's been really nice. Our track's been clear. We've been doing most of our work on the track. We'll go ahead to parks if we have some longer stuff, but overall, this winter hasn't been too bad. Last year, we were probably going to the indoor track once a week. It was terrible. It could still get cold, but it's been something that does make us a little tougher in Utah, I think. And yeah, I mean, it's not too much. It's not too bad, but it's not fun.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's kind of like whenever you get to those races where it's like not cold, it's like
Hmm.
I've been waiting for this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so we'll get to talking about your like the actual race where you broke for, but like kind of going into it, your training because I remember whenever we talked last time, just talking about like I'll only be running like a couple of indoor races, and you were more kind of talking about breaking like, or at least what I thought, breaking for outdoors. So like, what was your training like going into that race, or like kind of more, how did your mindset change, or like when did you figure out that hey, this might be something I could go for now?
Yeah, last time I think we talked during my 10-day break, I enjoyed that after NXN just to, just get my head away from running, have fun outside, do other stuff other than running. But yeah, training heading into the Grand Prix, it was just slowly built up. I think I had a good 6 weeks of just like solid training. Again, no doubling. I only run 6 days a week. I think the max I hit was like 63, again, including strides. But yeah, it wasn't, going into that, I didn't think I was in that type of shape. So, the goal after NXN was to break it outdoors. But, I had the opportunity to give it a crack. And I went for it at the Grand Prix. But overall, the training, just really was confident going into the Grand Prix. And, knowing the workouts that I've executed and I was just feeling good going into there.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people, you hear all the like professional runners, with the Olympic marathon trials for the U.S. just being a couple of weeks ago. They're always talking about like run 2 days a week, 120 miles, like crazy mileage like that. It's like nice to see great success from you can do it whatever works for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, kind of, I know whenever we talked last time, you talked about like getting a coach that was like a family friend or something kind of outside of your school, and kind of not everyone, like almost everyone came and got coached by that person. Like, what would you say, like under their training has kind of set you apart from your competitors or your peers? Like, what are some things, different training methods that you follow?
Yeah, so it was like I've had 4 coaches in 4 years, so I wanted a little bit of consistency this year. And I never really had the communication that I do now with everything. We got a new track coach actually, and it's great because like my track coach at my school right now knows my coach personally. And so like they communicate really well. Just like whenever I have a workout, the team also has a workout. So like I'm never running alone. Unless like I'm not feeling good on a day and we have to push a workout back. But yeah, like it's been really good having the structure. My coach is really scientific about like everything, like super specific on like splits and everything just to keep my body, running these paces. But it's been great. Over the since the summer, I've really shined with him, and I'm excited to see what this outdoor season brings because of just how much I've accomplished in such little time that I've actually been with him.
Yeah, that's great. So, kind of moving on a little bit. So, this is another segment I like to call split by split. So, basically, kind of a race breakdown, taking it split by split. But before we get to like the actual, bones of the race, now, you said earlier the Grand Prix, New Balance Indoor Grand Prix held at the brand new New Balance facility. Almost, everyone was wearing the New Balance uniforms and stuff like that. Can you just like before we get to talk about the actual race, can you kind of talk me through the experience of the weekend?
Yeah, New Balance really treats their athletes well. It was just a great experience. We were put in a hotel with the pros, so I mean, like I was just walking down the hotel, and there's pros left and right. Guys that I've looked up to for so many years, and it was just a cool experience. Just to see what they're like. Off the track. It was great just to see. Yeah, just they're normal people off the track, and there were some guys that I got to have like lunch and dinner with, just talk to them about it stuff. It was amazing. But then yeah, overall, just the whole experience was great. I was able to stay Sunday to watch the pro meet, and just seeing the best guys in the nation, guys and girls in the nation, competing at their highest level. It's just so cool to see. Like everyone I've looked up to for so many years.
Yeah, that's really really cool. So now, kind of talking about the split by split of the race, I guess. So can you just walk me through like how it was from the gun, because I remember I watched some clips of it after your race. Just being right on that four flat like pace at halfway, and then from there you go on to break it 3:59.85, I believe. Now, can you just walk me through like how you were feeling during the race? Yeah, just how you were
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah, so I got there the day before, or I got there 2 days before, and I saw that someone asked for the pace to be 59.5. I honestly thought that was kind of outrageous. I thought it was going to be, super fast for early in the season. But I was like, I'm here to compete. I'm not going for a time. Kind of just put any time rules behind me. I was there to win. Got on the line, felt good. I've never had the wave light pacing or like an actual pro pacer, which was super cool for them to give us that. Came through 400, like probably maybe a second off the lead, third or fourth place. Really just putting myself in a good position. Through 800 felt good, probably in the same position. 1200 we came through in like 301, so I knew I was a little off. I wasn't thinking about it at that time. And then I made a move down the backstretch with one lap to go. And I made the move for the win. I didn't think about the time. And then I came in with one lap to go, saw like 331, and I saw the lights and I was like, okay, I'm here. I think I didn't look behind, but I didn't hear anyone with me, so I was like, I'm gonna go for it. I might as well give it a crack this early in the season. Yeah, just really just went to the arms, and I caught up to the light. Maybe had a step on it, and then like was coming down the finish. I was like, oh, this is going to be so close. Really just went for the lean. Probably horrendous, honestly. And then ended up I saw that I got it, and I was just like, I didn't expect it. I didn't know how to react.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome, kind of being able to didn't really think you were gonna go for it or really knowing if you could go for it and just be like, well, might as well. It's just it just goes to show your fitness, which is just great. But so you kind of talked about like, the wave lights, pacer. Um, it's also like on a 200-meter banked track. Like kind of speak to that. Like what's that experience like? Because not in your high school state meet, there's no pacers or
Mhm.
depends on what state you're in, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's nothing. They don't really treat you. They treat you well, but not that well.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was cool to have the opportunity, for it to be set up for a sub 4 mile attempt. I thought it was great. The pacer was like brought us dead on, like 60s. He was like clocking off 30s like it was nothing. It was really just set up perfectly for us. I did like the lights. I know some people are like, oh, that's not good for the sport, some stupid stuff like that. But it pushes people to faster times. I think it's great. But yeah, I mean, just the whole experience, having them really just focus on setting it up for sub 4, and it brought like crazy fast times. I think top 5 or 6 were under 406, which is just crazy for this early in the season. But overall, it was just set up perfectly for us, and it was just an amazing experience.
Yeah, I mean, a quote I like to hear that I've heard before that I like is like if you put yourself like in a room or in a race with faster people, it's just gonna obviously make you faster. I mean,
Mhm.
and as you said, there were like 5, 6 people who ran under 406 in this race. Like, what was that? Like if you have a field, oh my gosh, if you have a field with like all of these fast people, like what was that kind of like? Because you obviously don't want to lose. So how'd that like help you when pushing for that time?
Yeah, the goal in coming in was to win. They brought the top tier athletes to go and race the mile. But being able to race guys that I have raced before, and guys that I've seen race, and just being able to meet everyone for the whole weekend and really get to know them outside of running it was just amazing. Like I wasn't like I need to beat this kid or I need to beat this kid to prove myself or anything. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna come out here first race this season, so my season opener. I'm just gonna come and compete. That was the main goal coming in, and I think I executed that pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say so. But so kind of, talking now in this race, you became with your sub 4, you became the 7th American to do it indoors and just American high schooler.
Mm-hmm.
And the 21st like overall in outdoor and indoors. And then you were also the first one to do it to win NXN and go under 4 in the same season. Like what was, cuz what was that what's that like? Cuz almost no one can say they have that on their resume.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty big. I try not to think about high school accolades. I think um, high school accolades can only get you so far, and I'm going. I've got bigger goals in college, and I think that's like it's cool to have those things next to my name, but in the long run, it really doesn't matter if I don't perform in college. So for me, so like something big is just high school accolades. I mean, they're cool, but they don't really mean much once I leave high school. So I'm excited to go to the next level in college.
Yeah, I mean, with that, I want to transition into our next segment I like to call running into tomorrow. So, kind of talking about goals you have, what are you doing now in training to like pursue those goals? So, my first question I have is like, once you broke 4, in my opinion, you kind of become like a celebrity in the running world because there's only so many people who say that they've done that. Now, what was like the week post running that like? Did you change anything in your training? Did you gain anything from it? Confidence wise.
Yeah, of course. If once you run sub 4 indoors, confidence kind of skyrockets. Especially coming off a win at NXN. It kind of just proves that I can run. I can run on the cross country course, but I can also perform on the track. It's been something that was big. Post like honestly didn't change much after that week. Got back and just started grinding with my teammates again. I had a week. I had a meet this last weekend. Really just got ready for that. Getting ready for a little more tactical racing if it does happen at New Balance indoors. That's so that I'm ready for that if it does happen. But yeah, I mean, nothing really changed. Nothing big changed. I still have the same goals. I'm ran 3:59 indoors. Still got to do it outdoors. Hopefully faster. I mean, yeah, hopefully a lot faster. And then, shooting for a good 32 time outdoors. It's really with the depth. Seeing Drew Griffith go 8:38 for the full 2 miles a couple days ago, just insane. And then just having the top like the best guys in the country are really just performing right now. It's going to be super fun this season.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned preparing for that track race just this weekend. So that was at like 4,500 feet of elevation, and you ended up running like 4:07.73. Now, what was like, and you won by a good margin. Like, what was, like you said, your preparation didn't really change too much, but and gaining confidence. What was racing that race like?
Yeah, so Thursday I had a prelim. Goal was just get through to the final. They take top 32 times and then top 36 times, top 12 are in like the fastest heat. I think I ran a 4:18. Really just felt smoothest 4:18 in my life. And then came back on Saturday, felt really good. My goal was just to practice a little more tactical racing. So I really didn't take the lead until like 4:50 to go. I tried something big for me is like I tried just to, like I was with like 600 to go. I was boxed in pretty hard, and I just had to stay relaxed. Wait for a gap to open up. I might have like pushed my way a little bit through a gap, but with 450 to go, I got 450 to go. I got tripped up a little bit, and I was like, okay, this is the time to go. I'm not risking losing this race just because I face plan right here. Made a move, pretty big one. There was one guy that went with me. After that, with like 200 to go. And I needed like a 27 to get the meet record of 407. I ended up getting it, celebrated down the finish. I know some people didn't like it. Hyped up the crowd a little bit. I think the mile is a pretty boring event to watch for some spectators. So I was like, why not get the spectators involved a little bit? Made it a little more fun. Ended up closing like 55.5 to run 407. Just really proving to myself that if I need to, I will be there and I can close with the best guys in the country. And it was just a great experience.
I mean, yeah, like closing in 55.5 is like a heck of a last lap. You know, I mean, so kind of going on that same kind of thing of pushing to the future. Now, you mentioned earlier running back at New Balance in the indoor nationals. First off, I just want to ask, what distance do you plan on running?
Yeah, I'm honestly unsure. It's either going to be the mile or 2 mile right now. Both fields are going to be absolutely loaded. So it's just something that my coach and I still have to talk about and fully decide.
Well, okay, yeah. So no matter what race you end up running in, you most likely your goal is to win it. Now, like alongside that, would you say you have any like other side goals? Like you said, going into the indoor Grand Prix, you didn't really have any time goals, just wanted to race that. Is that same mentality going to be the same for the New Balance indoors, or what will that mentality change?
Yeah, of course. Something I'm big on is, not shooting for times and just going for just competing. I think, there are a few races that, time is the goal. Like I would say Arcadia, when I'm there, I'm going for a time. I think that if you're at Arcadia, that's what you're doing. That's what everyone's doing. Everyone's shooting to run fast. But, indoor season and most of outdoor is just to compete. Just go for wins instead of times. I think that's something that's been big for me. Chasing wins, leading, if I go for a win, a time will come. Like that, I kind of proved my point at Grand Prix. I really wasn't going for sub 4. I was just going for the win. And when I made a move, I got close to sub 4 and I wanted to go for it. But, when I did make the move, I wasn't thinking, okay, the pace lights are going ahead of me. I need to make a move here. I was like, okay, I feel good. I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah, but it's been something that I've been really big on. Just compete with the guys that are in the race with you.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of mentioned Arcadia with, if you look back at the prior results from that meet, there's just fast times upon fast times. If you go back to Nico Young a few years ago, and now he's running super fast times at altitude, broke the NCAA record in the indoor 5K. Like, what are some things, you said you want to compete and win that race. Now, what are some things you might do differently in your training, or if not, that you'll do to prepare for that, whether it's races along the way or stuff like that?
Yeah, is this for the New Balance indoor?
I was just talking more like going forward into the future, whether
Mhm.
it is the indoor nationals or Arcadia or Nike outdoor nationals down the road.
Yeah, yeah. I honestly don't think much is going to change. It's been working for me. Something like all my workouts do end in some sort of speed. So going into bigger races, I know that I can close if I need to. But I also have that strength, to gut it out from the beginning. Make everyone else hurt if I do want to go for it. It's just great. Knowing like in the back of my mind that I do have the tools to know if I want to I could go try and win it from the front, or I could stick back and just close. It's been something that's really been big.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about last time when we talked about you going to Wake Forest next year. Now you also talked about you might get beat by a lot of people in cross country, and that's not really you're not really too focused on that. But now, what are some things because once track season ends, all the way over to freshman year of college, what are some things whether it's adjusting to 5K distance in high school to 8K or 10K distances in college cross country. Like, what do you think some things you'll do to prepare for that, or whether there's like some like process goals along the way?
Yeah, of course. I really trust Coach Hayes. I think he's probably. I mean, seeing what Rocky did earlier this fall, I really just trust what he has planned for me and the rest of the freshmen coming in. I'm not really too worried about it. I'm not expecting to be a super high place or NCAA cross country, but I think being there would be cool and just competing. It's going to be a great experience. I'm really excited for it, and I think really I just have to trust Coach Hayes and what his plan for me is. Coming into that freshman year, I think balancing schoolwork as well as running will be something that I will have to work on a lot, just because of the higher academic load and the field that I'm going into is just gonna make it a little tougher for me, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Okay. So this is moving into our last segment, something I call the finishing kick. So basically, it's 10 rapid fire questions that are, whether, that runners want to know. So basically, so the first question is, you won your NXN championship. You won your NXN championship in split shorts, and then you broke 4 in half tights. Which one is better?
I'm honestly a big half tights guy. I don't wear them during cross country though. I think cross country is meant for split shorts, or split shorts are meant for cross country. And the track is you can feel a lot faster in half tights. So I enjoy wearing half tights on track.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now, so next question: what is your go-to pre-race slash like pre-run meal?
I'm honestly, before workouts, I love getting bagels and cream cheese. I think that's like my go-to before a big workout. On race day, I'm honestly not that picky. If I can have a bagel and cream cheese, that's good. But I mean, whatever I can get, obviously something that I've had before, but I'm not insane. Like I don't have a set thing that like if I don't have this, I'm not gonna race well. It's just something I'm like, okay, I can have this.
Yeah. Okay. So you're good at cross country and track. You have the results to prove it. What is your favorite, cross country or track?
Track for sure. I mean, I like going a little faster. I think I came into this cross country season in my first cross country race, and it sucked. Like it hurt so much more than I remembered it, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be a long cross country season.
Yeah, it was the same thing for me. Unfortunately, I got injured halfway through the season, but yeah, coming off of track and you're like, well, cross country, you just got to run a lot more, but it's definitely a lot different than just that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so even though you said track's your favorite and all track ovals are the same, what is your favorite cross country course?
I honestly loved the Bob Furman course. It was something that I thought it was like, a real, not a true cross country course, but I thought it was like, it had a variety of everything. You were running on gravel, you were running on grass, you had a giant hill, you were running in the sand, which was like I've never run in the sand during a race, and it was the worst thing I've ever like run through, like a 300-meter stretch, and it was just like I'm not going anywhere right now. It was brutal, but I think it's just a great course.
Okay, so kind of where has you been your like favorite, not necessarily like the favorite track, but like what has been, I mean, I guess it is like your favorite track or like favorite track site you ran at?
Ooh, I don't know. I loved running at Hayward. I didn't have my best race there, but it was just like a surreal. You grow up watching races there, and then you go to see the new Hayward, and it just blows your mind with how big it is, and it was just amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so this kind of seems like a little bit of a gimme, but what is your favorite track race you've ever ran? Like not necessarily favorite distance, but like specific race.
Yeah. I honestly I'm a big I love Arcadia. It's been somewhere that I have performed at very well for so many years, and I think no other meet can um you know replicate the atmosphere that Arcadia does have with the distance events. It's just unreal. Like you really just have to be there to feel like just how much everyone is just yelling at you. It's just a great meet. I think that has been my favorite, place to race.
Yeah, I mean, so you've kind of been at, your favorite one is track, and you just ran at New Balance, the track facility, which I would say is probably it's the newest indoor track compared to New Hayward, which is one of the nicest in the world. Which one do you prefer more, like running an outdoor track or indoor track?
It's honestly the first season that I've taken indoor track like sort of seriously. I'm only racing 3 times, but I think I love the New Balance track. The track at New Balance is amazing. But I it's hard to beat Hayward just because of how the history behind it.
Yeah, okay. So, what is your go-to running shoe?
Honestly, right now it's the Cloud Monster. Um, everything from an everyday easy run to my long run. That's what I'm using. I love it. There are definitely other shoes that I have been trying out. Some that are creeping up on it, but for right now, it's definitely the Cloud Monster.
Okay, so this might be a tough choice. If you had to pick one, like a favorite race, what would you pick? Winning NXN or running sub 4?
Ooh. I think, winning NXN gave me the confidence heading into this track season to run sub 4, but sub 4 has just been a dream for so long. It's like one of those big barriers in track and field, and to be able to cross it off as a high schooler, I think there's no better feeling. I mean, I loved NXN. It's just an amazing race, and I am so proud of how I have performed there. But I think breaking 4 has been a dream for so much longer that I have to pick it.
Okay, final question, which is kind of in debate across the running world. Do you wear socks with your spikes or no socks?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. A lot of my teammates wear socks, and I can't get them to switch. And it's like there's some spikes that are just like meant to be worn sockless. Like the dragonflies are so nice. Yeah, I mean, once you don't wear socks, you kind of just don't go back. I think it's just a complete game changer.
Thanks for coming on the podcast. First guest. So, yeah, thanks again.
Yeah, of course, dude. It's happy to be here, bro.
Okay, see ya.
See you, bro.
Thanks for listening to Track Talk by Kicking for Home. If you like this episode, make sure to follow the Instagram at Kicking for Home TNF or subscribe to the YouTube to listen to more. Thanks, and as always, keep running.